My parents spent my entire life treating me like the family mistake nobody wanted to claim. At dinners, my achievements vanished beneath praise for cousins. At holidays, I was invited, yet somehow excluded. By 31, I had mastered smiling through humiliation while pretending it never hurt. My name is Harper Sloan. The annual family reunion felt the same when I arrived that afternoon. Relatives crowded a rented lodge beside a lake. Laughter echoed across the room. My mother barely acknowledged me. My father offered a distracted nod before returning to a conversation about someone else's success. I took a seat near the back and stayed quiet. An hour later, I noticed my Aunt Denise speaking with a dressed stranger near the refreshment table. They glanced toward me twice. Then Denise pointed directly at me. "We usually don't talk about her," she said. The comment stung, though it wasn't surprising. The stranger studied me for seconds. Instead of agreeing, she reached into her blazer, removed a business card, and handed it to Denise. "Funny," she said. "She's the reason I came here today." Conversations faded. Smiles disappeared. My father grabbed the card, read one line, and looked terrified. Nobody spoke for several seconds. I watched my father's face lose color while my aunt tried to peek at the card again. My mother stepped closer, her expression tightening with concern. "What is it?" she asked. My father folded the card immediately. "Nothing," he replied. The stranger disagreed. "I think Harper deserves to know." Every eye in the room shifted toward me. For the first time that day, I wasn't invisible. The woman introduced herself as Victoria Mercer. She was composed, confident, and clearly uncomfortable with the tension surrounding my family. "I've been looking for Harper Sloan for months," she said. My stomach tightened. "Why?" Victoria glanced at my parents before answering. "Because someone connected to my company left specific instructions that I find you personally." The room grew quieter. My mother forced a laugh. "There must be some mistake." Victoria's expression never changed. There wasn't. She removed a sealed envelope from her bag. I recognized my father's handwriting on the front immediately. That made no sense. The envelope looked old, worn at the edges, as if it had been stored somewhere for years. Victoria held it carefully. "This was given to us with legal instructions not to deliver it until today." My father took one step backward. Then he whispered something that made my blood run cold. "That envelope should never have survived." The words hit me harder than the envelope itself. "Should never have survived?" I repeated. My father instantly realized what he had admitted. His jaw tightened. My mother grabbed his arm so quickly it looked rehearsed. Victoria noticed it too. "I was wondering when someone would react," she said calmly. The envelope remained in her hand. My Aunt Denise, who had spent years treating me like an embarrassment, suddenly looked nervous. She avoided my eyes. "What exactly is this?" I asked. Victoria turned toward me. 5 years ago, a client of our firm created a delayed legal instruction. He paid for it personally and required that this envelope reach you at this reunion. 5 years. The timing mattered. 5 years earlier was when my grandfather died. The same grandfather my parents claimed had left me nothing. My chest tightened. After his funeral, I had been told he considered me irresponsible. My cousins inherited keepsakes. My parents received property. I received a watch and a short letter. That had always felt wrong. Victoria extended the envelope toward me. My father stepped forward. "Don't open it." The room froze. Nobody missed the panic in his voice. For the first time in my life, I saw fear behind his confidence. I took the envelope anyway. Then I noticed something written beneath my name. A second message. In my grandfather's handwriting. My hands trembled as I read the sentence beneath my name. "If this reaches you, the truth has finally escaped them." A chill moved through me. I knew my grandfather's handwriting. I had stared at birthday cards and handwritten notes from him for years. There was no mistaking it. My mother looked away first. That told me everything. I carefully opened the envelope while relatives watched in complete silence. Inside was a letter and a flash drive. The letter began with only 3 words. "Harper, forgive me." My vision blurred. The next paragraphs explained that my grandfather had discovered something months before his death. He believed certain family members were hiding financial records connected to property he intended to leave me. According to him, those records disappeared after he confronted them. I stopped reading. My father was staring at the floor. My mother looked like she might collapse. Victoria spoke softly. The flash drive contains supporting documents. My aunt and niece suddenly stepped forward. None of this proves anything. The interruption sounded desperate. Victoria opened a folder. It actually does. She removed several certified copies and placed them on a nearby table. Relatives crowded around immediately. Within seconds, shocked whispers spread across the room. Then my cousin Ethan looked directly at my father and asked one question. Dad, why is Uncle Mark's signature on every altar document? The room erupted into confusion. My father, Mark Sloan, had spent decades presenting himself as the family's most trustworthy person. Watching relatives stare at those documents felt unreal. Ethan picked up another page. This isn't one signature, he said. There are dozens. Nobody argued with him. The evidence sat in plain sight. Property records, transfer requests, financial statements. Each document showed changes that benefited my parents while reducing what my grandfather intended for me. My mother finally spoke. You're misunderstanding everything. But her voice lacked conviction. Victoria opened the folder again. There is more. She produced copies of emails and bank records. The transactions traced back years. Money moved through accounts controlled by my parents shortly before my grandfather's estate was finalized. I felt physically sick. Not because of the money, because every painful memory suddenly made sense. The constant criticism, the exclusion, the way they discouraged any relationship between me and my grandfather during his final months. My grandfather had known. He had tried to protect me. My father slammed his hand against the table. I did what I had to do. The confession escaped before he could stop it. Gasps echoed around the lodge. My mother closed her eyes. Then my father said something even worse. He was going to destroy this family for her. The statement hung in the air like smoke after a fire. For years, I had wondered why nothing I did was ever enough. Standing there, I finally understood. My father never saw me as family. He saw me as a threat. A threat? I asked quietly. His eyes met mine. You were his favorite. The bitterness in his voice felt older than I was. Relatives exchanged uneasy looks. Nobody seemed prepared for what was unfolding. My father laughed once, humorlessly. He planned to leave you the lakeside properties, the investment accounts, almost everything he built. The room fell silent again. My mother started crying. Not for me. For herself. Because the secret was gone. Victoria handed me another document. It contained notes from meetings between my grandfather and his attorney. In several entries, he described concerns that my parents were manipulating estate paperwork. He documented everything. Every suspicion. Every warning. My father knew it. That was why he looked defeated. Ethan stepped away from him. So did my aunt and niece. One by one, relatives created distance. The man who controlled every family gathering suddenly stood alone. Then Victoria delivered the final piece. Our firm already submitted these records to state investigators. My father's face strained completely, because this reunion was never the beginning of his problem. It was the end. Nobody rushed to defend my father. That surprised me most. For years, relatives had excused everything. Every insult toward me became a joke. Every unfair decision became family business. Yet the moment undeniable evidence appeared, their loyalty evaporated. My father looked around the room as if searching for allies. He found none. My mother finally approached me. Tears streaked her makeup. Harper, please listen. I had waited my entire life to hear those words. Strangely, they meant nothing now. What part should I listen to? I asked. The part where you let everyone believe I was unwanted? Or the part where you helped steal from Grandpa? She broke down completely. The answer was written across her face. Both. Victoria remained near the doorway, quietly observing. Then my cousin Ethan handed me his phone. A video was playing. It had been recorded years earlier. My grandfather appeared on the screen, older and weaker than I remembered, yet unmistakably himself. The entire room gathered around. "I don't know if you're seeing this, Harper," he said. "If you are, then people I trusted have already betrayed both of us." My throat tightened. Then he looked directly into the camera and revealed something none of us expected. The inheritance was never the most important thing he left behind. The room stood motionless as my grandfather continued speaking. "The money can be replaced," he said. "Land can be sold. Accounts can disappear. Character cannot." His tired smile appeared briefly. "Harper, if you're watching this, I need you to understand something. You were never the black sheep. You were the only person willing to stay honest when honesty cost something." Tears filled my eyes. My entire life, I had carried labels created by other people. Difficult, unwanted, disappointing. Yet the one person who truly knew me had never believed any of them. My grandfather's voice softened. "If the truth comes out, don't waste your future chasing revenge. Let consequences do their work. Build a life so meaningful that their choices become irrelevant." The video ended. Nobody spoke. My father sat alone at a corner table while investigators arrived outside the lodge. Relatives avoided him completely. My mother tried to approach me one last time. I wished her well and walked away. Not because I forgave everything, because I no longer needed their approval. For the first time in my life, I felt free. The family that spent years treating me like an outsider had lost its power over me. I hadn't won money. I had recovered myself.